Well, Danny, welcome back to The Watchman, my friend. Always great to be with you in Jerusalem.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, and you always take us to the best spots and the hidden gems, and this is one of the top hidden gems in all of Jerusalem. This is Zedekiah's cave, Danny, and man, this has a fascinating backstory. Tell us a little bit about why this place is so important.
This is really a fantastic site. First of all, the Damascus Gate, the biggest and the most ornate gate in the old city of Jerusalem, is right here around the corner. These are the old city walls. These cliffs and walls stood against the Crusaders when they stormed over the city. Later they were rebuilt by Suleiman the Magnificent and are standing to this day. Okay, Rockefeller Museum, Mount of Olives, the Garden Tomb, they're all around here.
This is the heartbeat of Jerusalem here. We're in the center of Jerusalem in the shadow of the old city. You can hear the rush hour traffic. It's a bustling, busy place. But not that long ago, say mid-19th century, it wasn't like that.
It looked totally different, okay? Instead of cars and motorcycles, you had camels and donkeys here. And an American scholar and a physician, James Barclay, he's known also for the discovery of a gate in the Western Wall. It's called to this day Barclay's Gate. So 1854, he walks around here with his dog, who suddenly trips and disappears. And as he bends over to grab him, he notices this is a really big ditch. So he decides to investigate this the following day, returning to the site with his two sons and torches concealed behind their gowns so they wouldn't be noticed.
So kind of,
they slide in and they find Zedekiah's cave.
So we're gonna go underground. Now I can't wait to get going. It's a little chilly out here in Jerusalem. We're gonna take off these jackets first, then we're gonna go inside. Danny, let's go.
Let's go. You have to imagine this minute when Barclay and his children, they sneak in, they take out the torches and they light them up and boom,
boom.
They see all of this. Look at this
Danny,
size.
this is, let me gather myself and take this all in for a second. Now, Danny, this place looks huge. It looks like it goes deep down. How far does it go down?
It's amazing. It's literally a hidden gem. And it's a very big hidden gem. We actually don't know the full size of it. Only about half of the cave has been uncovered. It's got a lot of evidence of quarrying activity. This was definitely a quarry. And in fact, it's the biggest man-made cave in all of Israel.
Incredible. It looks like a kind of a mysterious place, but the entrance is right on the street. Like you said, well, hey, let's go deep underground, Danny. Who knows what we'll find? Lead the way, my friend.
Let me show you.
Let's do it.
So this is one of the inner halls of this giant complex.
Look at this place. Wow, Danny.
And what's most visible are the quarrying marks. You can see them all over you.
Now, for the person at home, what is quarrying? For someone saying, what is a quarrying area?
It's chiseling stone.
Literally.
You can see here this big shape of a stone that was pulled out and then taken to some construction site.
You can see it, Danny. It's almost like compartments where they chiseled around and took the stone out.
Yes.
And
now,
big stones, by the way. Look at this.
Gigantic.
Huge.
Okay? When this was found in the 19th century, look at this size, for instance. That's a mammoth. That's really massive.
And you and I were talking off camera. The labor involved. The poor guys who were down here carving these stones out.
People sweating the whole day for pita bread, basically.
For a piece of bread back then, to feed their family. This is what they had to do. Talk about hard labor.
Yes, but from which period is it? So the generation that found it opened the Bible, as all the scholarship in those days did, and it's very tempting to link it to Solomon.
King Solomon.
Yes, let me read to you the quote from First Book of Kings, chapter 5. Solomon had 70,000 carriers and 80,000 stonecutters in the hills, as well as 3,300 foremen who supervised the project and directed the workmen. At the king's command, they removed from the quarry large blocks of quality stones to provide a foundation of dressed stone for the temple.
For the first temple, Solomon's legendary temple, Danny. So people were suggesting that this may have been the very quarry that First Kings mentioned, where some of the stones that were provided for the first temple were carved out.
Totally. And it's a very attractive theory, except that the archaeological science advanced later on. And now there's almost a consensus that this dates to a later period.
Okay,
It just wasn't used. They didn't quarry that kind of stone in the days of the first temple.
Okay.
But it was used maybe for a temple, the Jewish temple, the second one.
Herod's temple.
The Herodian temple, exactly.
And a lot of these stones, it looks kind of similar to the stones at the Western Wall in that area, doesn't it?
It's even the same stone type. It's called the Meleke type of stones, the royal stone.
Wow.
Very whitish, high quality, hard stone. And that
it makes a lot of sense.
And it's still a leading theory. It's still a leading theory that maybe these blocks of stones can be seen to this day at the Western Wall, were quarried here and delivered somehow to the construction site.
That's a question. And those numbers in 1 Kings, 70,000, 80,000 stone cutters. You can imagine the massive labor force down here, Danny, whether it was the first temple or the second temple. Wow, hard labor, tough labor. Okay, so we have the possible Solomon link, the more likely Herodian link to the second temple. But there's another biblical figure. After all, this is called Zedekiah's cave.
Yes.
Zedekiah, King Zedekiah, the last king of Judah, major potential storyline there as well that unfolded in these very caves.
Yeah, the Jews of Jerusalem, when this was found, they developed a belief that this relates not to King Solomon, but to King Zedekiah, the last king of Judah.
And not a good king.
Not a good king. The king that caused the end of Jerusalem, of the first temple at least. And to this day, there is a spring on the other end here that is claiming to relate to Zedekiah. It's called Zedekiah's spring or Zedekiah's tears. Let me show you.
Let's go.